For thousands of years, alien races across the stars had searched for other intelligent life. They built huge machines to listen for signals from space. They sent probes to distant planets. Yet they found nothing but silence. The three main groups in the galaxy, the Luminary Alliance, the Vorn Collective, and the Nexus Federation, all thought they were alone. Then one day, the silence broke. Dr. Junta sat at his desk in the small space center outside Seoul. It was late at night, and most of his team had gone home hours ago. Only the soft hum of computers kept him company as he looked at the data from their deep space listening project. Jun was 32 years old and had spent the last 10 years of his life looking for signs of alien life. His friends often teased him about wasting his time. Even his boss had suggested he work on more useful projects. But Jun never gave up. Tonight was just like any other night. He drank his coffee and checked the readings, not expecting anything new. Then he saw it. At first, Jun thought the machine was broken. The pattern on his screen looked too clear, too structured to be natural. He ran a quick check on the equipment. Everything was working fine. His hands shook as he reached for his phone. He called the only person he knew would understand what this meant. "Hannah, you need to come back to the lab right now," he said when she answered. "Jun, it's almost midnight. What's wrong?" Hannah Du asked. She had been his research assistant for 3 years and was the smartest person Jun knew. "Just come. Please. You have to see this." 40 minutes later, Hannah rushed into the lab. Her black hair was tied in a messy bun, and she still wore her pajamas under her coat. "This better be important," she said. Jun pointed at his screen. "Look." Hannah leaned in close, her eyes moving across the data. She stayed quiet for a long time. "These are radio waves," she finally said. Jun nodded. "Structured, artificial, and they're coming from Earth." Hannah frowned and shook her head. "That's impossible. If there were intelligent aliens on Earth, we would know about them by now." "No, you don't understand," Jun said. His voice was quiet but excited. "These signals aren't being made by our equipment. We're catching them by accident. Someone else was listening to Earth, and we just picked up their transmission." Hannah's eyes widened as she understood what he meant. She sank into the chair next to him. "Are you saying?" "Yes," Jun said. "We're not alone in the universe, and something out there just found us." They stared at each other, both feeling the weight of this moment. Everything would change now. Human history would be split into 2 parts, before this discovery and after. "We need to tell someone," Hannah said after a while. "The government? Other scientists?" "Not yet," Jun cut in. "We need to be sure. We need more data. If we're wrong about this, our careers are over." Hannah nodded slowly. "So what do we do?" Jun turned back to his computer. "We keep listening. We gather proof, and we prepare for what comes next." Outside the lab windows, the night sky stretched out above Seoul. The stars looked the same as they always had, but now Jun and Hannah knew the truth. Someone was out there, watching Earth. And they had no idea if these watchers came as friends or enemies. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, Jun and Hannah were still working, recording everything they could from the strange signals. They didn't know it yet, but across the vast darkness of space, the great powers of the galaxy were already making plans for the small blue planet they had just discovered. The silence was broken, and nothing would ever be the same again. Far away from Earth, in a place humans could not imagine, the leaders of the Luminary Alliance met in their great hall. The hall was made of shining crystal that caught the light of 3 suns. 12 tall beings sat around a round table, their skin glowing softly in the colored light. Elder Zix stood up and pointed to the image floating above the table. It showed Earth, small and blue. "We have been watching this planet for many years," Zix said. His voice was deep and slow. "And now they have reached a new step in their growth. These are the signals we caught. The air filled with sounds, human voices, music, Radio shows, TV broadcasts, all the noise that Earth sent into space without knowing who might hear it. They are still primitive, said Counselor Tren. She was younger than Zix, with sharp eyes that missed nothing. But they are growing fast. Too fast. What should we do? Asked another council member. We must bring them under our control, Tren said firmly, before they become dangerous. You all know what happened with the Crocs. We waited too long, and millions died. Counselor Mev shook his head. We should wait. Watch longer. Many young species destroy themselves before they reach the stars. These humans fight wars. They damage their planet. They may not survive. The council argued back and forth. None of them knew that humans were already closer than they thought. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Captain Sook-Park stood on the bridge of the spaceship _Pathfinder _. It was Earth's first ship that could travel faster than light. The inside of the bridge was clean and bright, with screens showing stars and space all around. Sook was 40 years old, with short black hair and steady hands that never shook, even now when things were going wrong. She looked at her crew, the best pilots and scientists from Earth. Report, she said calmly. Navigator Da Kim looked up from his screen. His face was tight with worry. Captain, we have a problem. The jump took us too far. We are at least 30 light years from Earth. 30 light years was very far. No human had ever been this far from home before. Sook kept her face calm, though she felt a cold fear inside. Can we jump back? She asked. Engineer Min Lee shook his head. Min usually smiled and joked. But not now. The drive needs time to cool down and recharge. 3 days, maybe 4. I see, Sook said. She thought quickly. They were lost in space, farther than any human had ever traveled. Their ship was new, and they didn't know all its problems yet. But they were alive, and they could find a way home. If we must stay here, let's learn something, she said. Full sensor sweep. Let's see what's out here. The crew moved to follow her orders. They didn't know it, but their ship had just set off alarms across 7 alien watching stations. The _Pathfinder _ had jumped right into the middle of watched space. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. In a dark room made of metal, Commander Kral of the Vorn Collective slammed his 3-fingered hand on the control panel. Lights flashed red around him. How did they get here? He shouted. His skin changed color with his anger, turning from blue to deep purple. No one saw them coming. The science officer, a thin alien with eyes that could see in all directions, moved nervously. They appeared suddenly, sir. One moment nothing. Then they were there. They must have some kind of jump technology. Kral made a sound of disbelief. Impossible. They are too young a species. They should not have jump drives yet. He turned to look at the screen showing the _Pathfinder _. It was small and simple compared to Vorn ships. But it was here, 30 light years from its home world. That should not be possible. Prepare the containment protocol, Kral ordered. They must not be allowed to return home with knowledge of us. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. On the _Pathfinder _, Communications Officer Sun Ji was the first to notice. She was listening to space, trying to catch any signal that might help them know where they were. She heard something. Not Earth signals. Something else. Sun slowly took off her headset. Her hands were shaking. Captain, she said, I'm picking up signals. They're not from Earth. They're not human. The bridge went completely quiet. Everyone turned to look at her. They had all joined this mission hoping to find proof that humans were not alone in the universe. Now they had that proof. Captain Sook straightened her back. Record everything, she ordered. And open a channel. If someone's out there, it's time we said hello. Commander Kroll paced back and forth in the control room of his observation post. His 3 eyes blinked rapidly as reports came in from all directions. The small human ship should not be here. It should not have the technology to travel so far. How long until our ships arrive? he asked. 2 hours, Commander said, his second-in-command. Crawl made a low hissing sound. Too long. They could leave before then. They show no signs of preparing to jump again, the science officer said. Their drive seems to be cooling down. Crawl stopped pacing. Can we contact the council? We need guidance. The communication system is ready, sir. Crawl stood straight. Tell them we have a serious problem. Tell them humans have found us. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. On the bridge of the Pathfinder Captain Sook Park watched her crew work. They had been in this unknown part of space for 6 hours now. Every minute brought new discoveries. Play the signal again, she told Sunja. Sun touched her screen, and strange sounds filled the bridge. It wasn't random noise. It had patterns, like language, but like no language any human had ever heard. It's definitely artificial, Sun said. Someone made this. Sook nodded. Can you tell where it's coming from? Navigator Day checked his instruments. About 500,000 kilometers from here. There seems to be some kind of structure there. A space station. Sook asked. Maybe, Daz said. It's hard to be sure. Security Chief Hyun Kang moved closer to the captain. He was tall and serious, with a scar on his right cheek from an old accident. Captain, we should prepare our defenses, he said quietly. Sook looked at him. We don't have any weapons, Hyun. This is a research ship. We can't just sit here waiting, Hyun argued. We don't know if they're friendly. Sook thought for a moment. Then she made her decision. Son, prepare our first contact package. Before they left Earth, scientists had put together a message for any aliens they might meet. It had simple math to show humans were intelligent. It had music to show humans had culture. It had pictures of Earth and humans. It had basic language lessons to help aliens understand human words. Sending it now, Sun said. The message went out into space. The crew waited, hardly breathing. 1 minute passed, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Then Sun's screen lit up. Captain, she said, her voice shaking. They're responding. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. In the great meeting hall of the Luminary Alliance, the emergency alarm sounded for the first time in 300 years. Counselors rushed in from their homes. Some had been sleeping. Others had been eating. All knew that something very serious must have happened. Elder Zix took his place at the head of the table. His usually calm face showed worry. The humans have found us, he announced. Their ship is in Sector 7. Gasps filled the room. Sector 7 was close to important luminary worlds. How? Asked Counselor Tren. They should not have ships that can travel so far. We don't know, Zix admitted. But they are there, and they have sent us a message. What kind of message? Asked Counselor Mev. Zix touched a control, and a hologram appeared in the center of the room. It showed pictures of Earth, of humans, of human art and buildings. And it played human music. They want to talk, Zix said. Tren stood up. It's a trick. They want us to reveal our positions. Then their fleet will attack. We see no signs of a fleet, Zix said. Just one small ship. The first of many, Tren insisted. We must capture this ship, take the humans for study, learn their plans. Mev shook his head. If we do that, and they have friends coming, it will mean war. The council argued as the message from Earth played again and again in front of them. The faces of smiling humans looked out at them. The humans held their hands up, empty, showing they came in peace. But the council had seen too many wars, too many tricks, to trust so easily. Send ships to capture them, Zix finally ordered. We must know what the humans want, and we must make sure they do not return home with knowledge of us. Not until we are ready. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. On the Pathfinder Sun Ji's face turned pale. Captain, she said, I'm detecting multiple ships heading our way. Fast. Sook felt her heart beat faster. Are they answering our message? No, Sun said, but they're definitely coming for us. The crew looked at each other. They had wanted to find alien life. Now alien life had found them, and it was coming right at them. In a giant room on a neutral planet, leaders from 17 alien races sat together. The room was round, with tall windows that showed the 3 moons outside. This was the Galactic Council, and they had not met like this for 300 years. We are here to discuss the human problem, Elder Zix said. His voice echoed in the quiet room. The Vorn representative, a tall blue being with 3 eyes, spoke first. The human ship must be contained. They cannot go home with knowledge of us. But their message was peaceful, said the luminary representative. Her crystal body caught the light as she moved. They showed music and art. They want to talk. It is a trick, said the representative from the Nexus Federation. He was small and gray with a large head. Our computers say there is an 87% chance they will attack once they know we exist. All around the room, the debate grew louder. Some wanted to make friends with the humans. Others wanted to destroy the Pathfinder _. Most wanted to keep the humans in a safe place where they could study them. No one asked what the humans wanted. *****. On the Pathfinder _, Captain Sookpark watched the alien ships on the screen. There were 7 of them now, surrounding her ship in a circle. They were bigger than the Pathfinder _ and had strange shapes. Some looked like stars with many points. Others were round like balls. One looked like a giant hand. They haven't attacked, Security Chief Hen said. He sounded surprised. They want something else, Sook said. If they wanted us dead, we would be dead already. Engineer Min Lee looked up from his workstation. Captain, I've been trying to get the jump drive working, but something is blocking it. We can't jump away. Sook nodded slowly. They're keeping us here. The ship was quiet. Everyone knew they were trapped far from home, with no way to call for help. What do we do, Captain? Asked Sunja. Her voice was steady, but her hands shook. We wait, Sook said, and we learn as much as we can about them. If we can't run, we'll make friends. And if they don't want to be friends? Hyun asked. Sook looked at him. Then we'll think of something else. We're not done yet. *****. Back on Earth, Dr. Junta couldn't sleep. It had been 3 days since he and Hannah found the alien signals. They had worked non-stop, recording and studying everything they could. We need to tell someone, Hannah said again. This is too big for just us. Jun nodded. I've called a meeting with the head of the space agency. They're coming tomorrow. Hannah looked at the screen where new signals were appearing. There's more activity now. Something is happening up there. June leaned forward. You're right. Let's record it all. They didn't know that what they were seeing was the reaction to the Pathfinder _ entering alien space. They didn't know their friends were in danger. All they knew was that aliens were real, and they were talking about Earth. *****. The next morning, a group of serious men and women sat in Jun's small lab. The head of the Korean Space Agency, Dr. Yoon, looked doubtful. You're telling me you found proof of aliens? He asked. Yes, Jun said. Listen. He played the recordings. Strange sounds filled the room. Not random noise, but patterns. Language. It could be anything. One woman said, radio interference. It's not, Hannah said firmly. We've checked everything. These are signals from space, and they're talking about Earth. Dr. Yoon frowned. Even if you're right, what do you expect us to do? Tell the world, Jun said. Prepare people, because if we can hear them, then they can hear us. And one day, they might come here. Little did they know, the aliens were already dealing with humans, and they were afraid. *****. In his private chamber, Elder Zix studied the reports about humans. They were physically weaker than most galactic species. Their technology was simple. Their ships were slow, but something bothered him. The humans had developed faster than light travel far sooner than expected. They had survived wars and diseases that should have killed them. They kept growing stronger. They adapt, he said to himself. They face problems, and they change to solve them. And that was what scared him most of all. Because species that could adapt quickly were dangerous. They were unpredictable. The council had decided to keep the humans contained until they could decide what to do. But Zix wondered if that would be enough. Because if humans could adapt to this situation too, everything might change. Dr. Jun Ta stood in front of 500 people at the United Nations in New York. His hands were sweaty, and his heart beat fast. 3 weeks ago, he had been a normal scientist in a small lab. Now he was telling the world that aliens were real. The signals are clear, he said, pointing to the screen behind him. These are not natural. These are messages from intelligent beings talking about Earth. The room was quiet. World leaders looked at each other with worry and doubt. How can you be sure? Asked the UN Secretary General, a tall woman with gray hair. Because we've translated parts of their language, Jun said. This was the big news he had saved until now. And they are discussing what to do about us. The room filled with voices as everyone talked at once. Some people looked scared. Others looked excited. No one knew what to think. Are they planning to attack us? Someone shouted. Jun shook his head. We don't think so. But they are worried about us. They have been watching Earth for a long time. Why would aliens be worried about humans? Asked the defense minister from Jun's home country. We can barely reach our own moon. That's what we're trying to find out, Jun said. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Back in Korea, Hana Do worked with scientists from 10 countries. They had set up a special center with the best computers in the world. Their job was to translate more alien messages. Look at this part, Hana said, pointing to her screen. They keep talking about human recovery abilities. What does that mean? An American scientist named Dr. Ross looked at the words. Maybe they're talking about how we heal from injuries. No, I think it's bigger than that, Hannah said. They're talking about our whole species. Then she saw another message and her eyes got wide. Oh, I think I understand now. Look at this. The message showed a list of events. Big nuclear accidents, climate disasters, diseases that had killed millions. After each one, the aliens had predicted the end of human civilization. But each time, humans had survived. They had cleaned up the radiation. They had developed new ways to fight disease. They had adapted to changing weather. They've been watching us bounce back from disasters, Hannah said softly. Things that would have destroyed their civilizations. Dr. Ross looked shocked. They're afraid of us because we don't stay down when we get knocked down. Exactly, Hannah said. We keep getting back up. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. On the alien space station, Captain Suk Park and her crew sat in a large room with clear walls. Aliens of different kinds stood outside, watching them like animals in a zoo. They've been studying us for 3 days, Navigator Day said quietly. When will they talk to us? They're afraid, Suk said. Look at how they stand far away from the glass. They think we might be dangerous. Us. Min laughed without joy. We're just 7 humans with no weapons. It's not about weapons, said Science Officer Jun Yi. She was the youngest crew member, but often had the best ideas. I've been watching how they handle our things. They treat our blood samples like they might explode. What are you saying? Hyun asked. I think there's something about humans that scares them, Jun said. Something in our bodies. Before anyone could answer, the door to their room opened. 3 aliens walked in. One was tall and blue with 3 eyes. One had a body made of what looked like crystal. The third was small and gray. The crystal one held up a device. It made a humming sound, then spoke in a strange voice that somehow formed English words. Your species should be afraid, it said. Why are you so calm? Suk stood up straight. We adapt to new situations, she said simply. The aliens looked at each other. Even with their strange faces, the humans could see they were upset by this answer. You will remain here, the blue alien said. We must decide what to do about Earth. After they left, the crew looked at each other. What did I say wrong? Suk asked. Jun's eyes were bright with understanding. Nothing. But I think I know why they fear us now. It's our ability to adapt, to change, to survive things that should kill us. Min nodded slowly. And if that's true, then we need to show them we're not a threat. Suk finished. Or find a way to get home and warn Earth. Outside their room, the aliens were already making plans to make sure the humans never left the station alive. 7 days had passed since the crew of the Pathfinder was taken to the alien station. They were kept in a large room with beds, tables, and strange food. The walls were clear so the aliens could watch them all the time. Captain Suk told her crew to stay calm and show their best behavior. We need to prove we're not dangerous, she said. 3 times a day, different aliens would come into the room to ask questions or take samples of their hair, skin, and blood. Some aliens seemed afraid to get close to the humans. Others were more curious. Today, the 3 leaders came back. The blue one, the crystal one, and the small gray one. They stood at a safe distance from the humans. Your body samples show strange things, the crystal alien said through the translator. You heal quickly from damage. That's normal for humans, Suk answered. Not normal for most life, the blue alien said. Most species cannot grow back damaged parts. Science Officer Jun spoke up. You mean our ability to heal cuts and broken bones? And more, the gray alien said. Your bodies fight disease in unusual ways. You become stronger after sickness. The humans looked at each other. What was normal to them seemed amazing to the aliens. Later, when they were alone again, the crew talked about what they had learned. They're treating our blood samples with special care, Navigator Day said. I saw them using equipment that looked like hazard gear. Engineer Min nodded. I think I understand now. Our normal human biology scares them. But why? Communications Officer Sun asked. Jun had been thinking hard about this. I think it's our immune system and our cellular regeneration. We get exposed to a disease, we might get sick, but then we develop immunity. We break a bone, it heals stronger. We adapt on a biological level. That's just how bodies work, Min said. Not alien bodies, apparently, Jun replied. Security Chief Hyun, who had been quiet for days, finally spoke. If they think our biology is dangerous, they'll never let us go home. We're a threat to them. The room went silent as everyone realized he might be right. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. On Earth, Hanadu was making a breakthrough. She had been working for days with almost no sleep, trying to decode more alien messages. I've got it, she shouted, making the other scientists jump. It's our healing ability. That's what scares them. She showed them the data on her screen. Look at this. When their species get hurt, they heal very slowly or not at all. When they get a new disease, many die before they can find a cure. Dr. Ross looked amazed. But humans adapt. We get stronger. Exactly, Hannah said. What's normal for us is superpower to them. We catch a disease, we feel terrible for a week. Then we're immune forever. We get radiation exposure, some die, but others adapt. The room was quiet as everyone thought about this. So they think we're dangerous just because our bodies work differently? Asked another scientist. From their view, we're almost impossible to kill, Hannah said. Imagine if you met a species that could regrow their head if you cut it off. Wouldn't that scare you? Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. In the private meeting room of the Galactic Council, Elder Zix reviewed the reports on the human prisoners. Their cellular structure is unlike anything we've seen, the medical expert said. They can fight off poisons that would kill us. Their bones knit back together if broken. Their skin heals without leaving weak spots. Can we stop this process? asked Counselor Tren. We are not sure, the expert admitted. Their adaptation happens at a genetic level. Counselor Mev looked worried. If they are this resilient as individuals, imagine what they are like as a species. No wonder they survived events that should have ended their civilization. We cannot allow them to spread through the galaxy, Tren said firmly. One human disease could kill billions of our people. Elder Zix nodded slowly. The humans on the station must remain contained, and we must decide what to do about their home planet. What options do we have? Mev asked. Tren's answer was cold. Quarantine or elimination. There are no other safe choices. The word elimination hung in the air. They were talking about destroying Earth and all humans on it. And the crew of the Pathfinder had no idea their home was now in danger. Captain Sook Park gathered her crew in the corner of their room. They spoke in whispers so the aliens watching them couldn't hear. We need to get out of here, she said. I don't think they plan to let us go home. But how? Asked Sunja. We're locked in, and even if we could escape, our ship is probably guarded. Sook looked at each of her crew members. They had been chosen as the best Earth had to offer. Now they needed to prove it. Min, what have you noticed about this room? She asked the engineer. Min had been studying their prison since day one. The door uses some kind of energy field. It flickers when they bring food in. Could we get through during that flicker? Sook asked. Min thought for a moment. Maybe. The field drops for about 2 seconds each time. That's not much time, Han said. It's all we have, Sook replied. And we need to take it. I've heard the guards talking. They're deciding what to do with Earth. The crew looked shocked. Earth? What do you mean? Dai asked. I think they see all humans as a threat, Sook said. Not just us. We need to warn home. They made their plan carefully over the next day. Each person had a job to do. Min would watch the door and time the flicker. Sun would create a distraction. Hyun and Dai would be ready to move first. Jun would grab the important data they had collected. Sook would lead them to the ship. They got their chance the next day when food was brought in. As the alien guards approached with their trays, Sun suddenly fell to the floor, shaking as if she was sick. Help, she cried. Something's wrong. The aliens backed away in fear. They had been warned about human diseases. As they called for help, Min watched the door. Now, he whispered as the energy field flickered. Hyun and Dai moved fast, slipping through the opening. They grabbed the surprised guards and pulled them into the room. In the confusion, Jun, Min, and Sook got through the door too. Sun jumped up and followed last. Which way to the docking bay? Sook asked as they ran down the hallway. Left, Jun said. She had been making mental maps each time they were taken out for tests. Alarms started to sound throughout the station. Red lights flashed. Strange voices spoke over the speakers. They know we're out, Han said. Keep moving, Sook ordered. They turned a corner and saw 3 alien guards ahead. Before the aliens could react, Hyun tackled one. Dai and Min grabbed another. The third turned to run, but Sun jumped on its back. We don't want to hurt you, Sook told the guard Hyun was holding. We just want to go home. Where is our ship? The alien pointed with a shaking hand. That way. Level 3. The crew ran faster, following signs they couldn't read but hoping they were going the right way. Behind them, more alarms sounded. Finally, they reached a large door. It was locked, but Min found a control panel. I can try to open it, he said. Their technology is advanced, but not that different from ours. While he worked, the others watched for guards. Jun stood by Sook. Captain, even if we reach the ship, they might have disabled it, she said quietly. Then we'll fix it, Sook replied. That's what humans do. We solve problems. Min gave a shout of success as the door slid open. Inside was a huge room with different ships docked in it. And there, in the middle, was the Pathfinder. It looks untouched, Daz said in surprise. They probably thought we couldn't escape, Hyun said. They underestimated us. They ran to their ship. Min checked the outside quickly. No obvious damage. They must have been studying it without taking it apart. Everyone inside, Suk ordered. As they climbed aboard, more alarms went off. Doors at the far end of the docking bay opened, and alien guards poured in. Get us ready for launch, Suk told Min as she took her captain's chair. Plot a course for home. The bay doors are closed, Sun pointed out. We're trapped. Suk smiled for the first time in days. Not for long. Remember, humans always find a way out. Outside, the aliens watched in disbelief as the human ship's engines started to glow. They had never expected their prisoners to escape. They had never thought humans would be so resourceful. They had underestimated humanity once again. The Pathfinder raced through space, its engines pushed to their limits. Behind them, alien ships followed in pursuit, but they were falling behind. How did we get away? Sunji asked, still hardly believing they had escaped. They didn't expect us to use our weapon system to blast open the bay doors, Min said with a smile. Probably because we told them we had no weapons. Technically, we don't, Captain Suk said. We just repurposed our mining laser. Humans are good at finding new uses for old tools. The crew laughed, feeling relief for the first time in days. But their happiness didn't last long. Captain, Navigator Dag called from his station. I've calculated our position. We're 3 weeks from Earth at top speed. Can we use the jump drive? Suk asked. Min shook his head. Not yet. It's still damaged from whatever they did to block it. I need time to fix it. The crew grew quiet again. 3 weeks was a long time, and the aliens could send more ships after them. We need to warn Earth, Suk said. Sun, can you send a message? Sun worked at her communications panel. I'll try to boost our signal, but it will take days for the message to reach home. Send it anyway, Suk ordered. Tell them everything we learned. The aliens, their fear of us, and the danger to Earth. As the Pathfinder sped toward home, the crew worked day and night to repair their ship and prepare for whatever might come next. On Earth, Dr. Junta sat in a large meeting room beneath the ground. Around him were scientists, military leaders, and government officials from many countries. The walls were covered with screens showing data and star maps. The signal from the Pathfinder is confirmed, a military officer said. They're alive and coming home. But they say they were held prisoner by aliens who see us as a threat. How long until they reach Earth? Asked the Korean president. 3 weeks at their current speed, Jun answered. But they warned us the aliens might come sooner. The room was silent as everyone thought about what this meant. Humans were not alone in the universe, and their first neighbors were not friendly. What can we do in 3 weeks? Someone finally asked. Prepare, said Hanadu. She stood up and faced the group. We now understand why the aliens fear us. Our ability to adapt and heal makes us special. We can use that. How? Asked a general. By showing them we're not a threat, Hana said. And by being ready if they attack. Over the next days, Earth changed quickly. Nations that had fought for centuries now worked together. Scientists shared secrets they had kept hidden. Engineers built new weapons and shields based on what they learned from the alien signals. In a secret lab under the Korean mountains, Jun worked with scientists from around the world. They studied the alien language and technology. If we can talk to them, maybe we can make peace, Jun told Hana as they worked late one night. And if we can't? She asked. June looked at the screens showing the new ships Earth was building. Then we'll be ready to defend ourselves. Captain Suk stood on the bridge of the Pathfinder looking at the screen. Earth was still far away, but they were getting closer every day. Captain, Jun called. There's something behind us. Suk looked at the sensor readings. More alien ships. No, Jun said, her voice filled with wonder. It's from Earth. They're coming to meet us. The screen showed 5 ships moving fast toward them. They were new, built in the short time since Earth had received their warning. The ships were armed and ready. They prepared, Hyun said. Earth got ready. Suk felt proud of her planet. Humans had faced a new threat, and instead of giving up, they had adapted. They had built new ships in record time. They had united to face the stars. Send them a message, she told Sun. Tell them we're coming home with everything we learned. As the Earth ships approached, Suk knew the aliens had made a big mistake. They thought humans were dangerous because they could heal from wounds and fight off disease. But that wasn't humanity's real strength. The real human advantage was their ability to work together, to learn quickly, and to never give up when faced with a challenge. The aliens were right to be afraid, Daz said quietly, but not for the reasons they thought. Suk nodded. Humans don't just adapt biologically. We adapt in every way possible. And now we know we're not alone. The stars looked different to her now. Not empty and silent, but full of life and challenges, and humanity was ready to face them all. 6 months after the Pathfinder returned to Earth, Captain Suk Park stood in the Grand Hall of the Galactic Council. She wore a new uniform, blue with silver lines, marking her as Earth's first ambassador to the stars. The room was huge, with a high ceiling that showed the stars and 17 alien leaders sitting in a circle. Suk felt small but not afraid. Behind her stood Jun Tai and Hana Du, who had learned to speak some alien languages. They were there to help if the translator failed. You fear us, Suk began, her voice clear and strong. I understand why. Humans are different. We adapt. We survive. We walk forward no matter how many times we fall. The alien leaders watched her silently. You saw our wars and thought we were violent, she continued. But you missed something important. After every war, we rebuild. We learn. We grow stronger by working together, not just by fighting. Suk pressed a button on her wrist, and a 3D image appeared in the air. It showed Earth's history, great disasters followed by recovery, wars followed by peace, diseases followed by cures. Humans don't fear failure because we learn from it, she said. We don't fear death because we find meaning in our short lives. And we don't fear the unknown. We explore it. The luminary representative, the crystal being, leaned forward. And what does humanity want from this galaxy? Suk smiled. Friendship, knowledge, a place among the stars, not to rule others, but to belong with them. Elder Zix spoke next. You escaped our station. You could have attacked us for holding you prisoner. Why didn't you? Because that's not who we are, Suk answered. Yes, we can fight if we must. But we would rather talk, learn, trade, grow together. The alien leaders talked among themselves in voices too quiet for the humans to hear. Then Elder Zix stood up. Captain Suk Park of Earth, he said, we have watched your kind for centuries. We saw your wars and disasters. We expected you to destroy yourselves many times. He paused, his 3 eyes blinking slowly. But each time, you surprised us. You survived. You rebuilt. You grew stronger. And now you stand before us, not seeking revenge, but offering friendship. Zix walked closer to Suk. There has never been a species like humans in our galaxy, he said. You adapt faster than any life we know. This makes you dangerous. Suk started to speak, but Zix held up a hand. It also makes you valuable, he finished. The galaxy has been peaceful for too long. We stopped growing, stopped learning, stopped trying new things because we feared failure. Around the room, other alien leaders nodded in agreement. Perhaps, Zix said, we need a little of your human spirit. Your willingness to try and fail and try again. For the first time in 10,000 years, the Galactic Council voted to welcome a new species. Earth would join the Great Alliance of Worlds. Humans would be allowed to travel the stars. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. 1 year later, Hannah walked through an alien market on a planet 40 light-years from Earth. Around her, beings of many shapes and colors bought and sold goods from across the galaxy. She stopped at a small shop where a blue alien child was trying to build something with colorful blocks. The child kept failing, the blocks falling down again and again. Before, the alien child might have given up after 1 or 2 tries. That was the old way, the safe way. But now, the child kept trying, building the tower in different ways until it stood tall. The child's parent noticed Hannah watching and spoke through a translator. Before humans came, my child would not have tried again. Now we have a saying, try like a human. Hannah smiled. In just 1 year, humans had spread across the stars. They worked on alien ships, taught in alien schools, learned alien medicine, and shared human ideas. And everywhere they went, they brought their special gift, the courage to fail and try again. Back on the luminary homeworld, Elder Zix looked at reports from across the galaxy. Everywhere humans went, change followed. Species that had stayed the same for thousands of years were trying new things, taking risks, growing again. The galaxy was silent, he said to himself, until they walked. And though many still feared what humans might become in the future, none could deny that the universe had become much more interesting since Earth joined the great family of stars.